welcome. Hold on.
So I was waiting. I was doing it for you because you were on your computer.
No, you had the hands up. I was like, yeah, hold on. Let me get it real quick.
Welcome, people. Welcome to Plugged In, where we are plugged into all things sports, culture, and lifestyle. And this is the outlet. We are here on this beautiful Sunday, podding with you guys. You know, before the national championship game. You know what I mean? Shout out to the lovely Dawn Staley and Dawn We Trust. But we'll get to that later. But I had to go ahead and just plug that in.
Yeah, we repping for the South Carolina today.
All day, every day. Hey.
But man, let's go ahead and get right into it. No, actually, before we get into it, man, how's your mental today?
It's good. It's good. You know, I ain't gonna lie, this pollen really been booking me up.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm all right. I feel like my eyes are a little puffy. Eyes woke up a little red. I was trying to.
Just a little bit. I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Yeah, I was trying to get right before I came on.
You went to sleep at like 5. You went to sleep late?
Yeah, probably like 12:45 or something like that. I was watching the game, you know, hyped up from that, and then started watching this movie last night. Then I fell asleep on the movie. But
what movie?
Plane. We got Gerard Butler and.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Fitz from Scandal in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, Gerard Butler, he's probably one of my favorite artists. Well, God dang it.
Actors, yeah.
What's that movie he had, Law Abiding Citizen,
with
Jamie Foxx?
Yeah.
Probably like
it's elite.
Overtime goated, but
yeah, elite. How's your mental?
It's pretty good, man. I don't know. Just yesterday, I went out last night, man. Where did I go last night? What's that place called?
You said Vinyl.
I went to Blinders, Vinyl, and then we went to Folio.
Oh, you was moving.
And grooving. You know, but nah, I can't even lie. Like it was a cool little vibe, but nose got a little congested. I don't really suffer from like allergies that much.
It's pollen something serious.
It's kicking my ass too.
My mental's all right. But the pollen is really getting to me, so I'm feeling a little foggy.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. I don't even have really bad allergies, so I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna see, man. Let's go ahead and hop into the plug, man.
Plug.
Well, we head into the latest and greatest within the Queen City. But also, we're trying to hit some of this local news, some of this national news, anything that's going on that's affecting us. You know, like this week has been a crazy week just because, like, with all this stuff, we're not going to hit too much into it, but, like, you know, the stuff with, like, the tariffs and all that kind of stuff. Low-key got cussed out by somebody this week, like, indirectly type shit. But it's crazy because, like, you know, a lot of the things that's going on within our, like, society, like, as far as just, like, the politics and, like, tariffs and, like, different things that our president is doing now.
Yeah.
It's kind of messing with our livelihood, messing with our 401ks. Like, I looked at my 401k the other week. I was like, God damn. Like, Trump, what you doing, big dog?
You know, they were protesting yesterday in Charlotte about all that.
I seen that.
Yeah.
I also seen on TikTok where they were, like, some of the black people were saying, like, hey, this is not our fight. Let them, like, do it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And then, I'm going to be honest, it wasn't many black people out there.
No,
they tried to put one on camera.
Really?
But when you see it, when you actually seen everybody, you know, on strike marching, doing whatever they was doing, but you couldn't see no black people. That's y'all fight. We tried to tell y'all. Y'all ain't listen.
I wonder how many of the percentage of the people that were there actually voted Republican for this election.
I would like to know as well.
I'm curious for that, but also we're too focused on line dancing.
Like, right, where the fans at? Yeah, I can't get that. I don't know that dance. I'm not even trying to learn it, but like everybody love that thing.
I forgot to put it on there. I forgot to tell you too. They're having like a line dance somewhere in Charlotte, like in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I seen that.
Line dance party.
Yeah, line dance.
We'll get that. We'll plug y'all into that eventually. But let's go ahead and hop into the plug. You know, we'll hit the latest and greatest. But we're about to charge you up a little bit. So this month is Autism Awareness Month. We just coming off of Women's Month. I did say I was gonna like go on a rant this week. I'm just gonna cool it. We're not even gonna. I don't even want no problems. But man, the Queen City Current, you know, we dropped that like Wednesday or Thursdays?
We dropped it on, no, we dropped the Current on Friday actually.
Okay.
This week, yeah.
Yeah, we dropped that every week.
It's a lot of stuff going on in April this month. Something every day damn near, but definitely every weekend. So make sure you guys are plugging into that on our Instagram.
Yep.
And I was thinking we might need to pop it on TikTok here and there too.
Yeah, we should. The way kind of that way we do
the playlist.
The playlist.
Yeah, so we might do that. But for big events coming up, for when y'all hear this, when this episode drops, on Wednesday night, FOMO, they're having another party, museum party at the Harvey Gantt Museum. So bring you and all your friends and have a time. They're gonna have multiple DJ sets. They done it before, but they shut down the museum. I have a time over there.
Yeah.
And
why they shut down?
They shut it down like, as in like, you acting your age right now, my guy.
Goddamn.
Damn. They shut it down down. Yeah, but it should be dope though. I might slide out there. I don't know. It's during the middle of the week though. It's hard for me to go out there in the week. Yeah. I get up too early. Do work too long. Days,
And I be trying to do content during the week, like outside of my other personal page, like Cooking with Cam B type shit. So.
Make sure y'all follow Cooking with Cam. He going crazy.
No, I'm doing my best.
Yeah,
you know?
He doing numbers. I'll pop his shit for him. He is doing numbers.
I do my best.
Proud of my boy. He been consistently coming out with multiple videos a week.
Yeah.
And I was thinking too. I'm like, how did you even learn to cook like that?
I don't know, man. Like, you know, back at the crib, like when I used to stay at home, when I was young, like my mom would only make like 5 different like dishes throughout the year, literally. Like I would either eat smothered chicken, cream of mushroom chicken, crawfish jambalaya, certain things she like.
Spaghetti gotta be in there because every black family was spaghetti. Yeah, spaghetti.
But also like she always made like 5 different things. So one day I was just at home and like I was like, Mom, can I get some food? She was like, Nah, there's food in the house. There was nothing in the house. Like everything that was in there, you had to cook. So I legit looked up online like how to fry a whole chicken. Took the whole chicken out, thawed it out, cut it up, like learned how to cut it up on Google. That's before they had like TikTok and YouTube was like really big.
Yeah.
Learn how to cut it up, do all that kind of stuff. And legit, just like fried my, that was the first thing I ever like cooked for real, other than like eggs and like breakfast and stuff like that. But yeah, man, fried chicken, and I just went from there. Recently, I was kind of getting bored in the crib because I really don't be, I be outside, but I really don't be outside.
Right.
So
you a homebody?
Nah, legit, I'm a homebody. So I was like, bro, I really love to cook, man. Let me just start making content. So, you know, y'all know I put that video out on Valentine's Day on TikTok when I made the dinner for me and my girl.
Right.
But I was like, bro, I like this. It's kind of cool. So I just started making more videos, and shit. I cook every week, so I might as well like record it.
Record it while you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Smart. The latest video you did, though, let's talk about that real quick because
oh my god,
you talking over it instead of just having the music took me out because
really?
I saw that you did the video for when your girl was getting ready with the makeup thing. I watched that entire video because that joke was hilarious.
It was like a 5-minute video.
Yeah, it was long. You was like, whew, this is a long video. Oh, you know.
Thanks. Bro, like for one,
like slow down. You going to?
Bro, like that whole video is like ridiculous. Like all these videos, I don't know how people are able to. You know, I talk slow as fuck.
Right.
Like, it takes me like 10 minutes to get out like one like sentence.
Boy, was getting out of breath on both of those videos.
Oh god, bro. Because like she's speeding it up. I speed mine up just so I can try to stay within a minute so the music will flow.
Yeah.
But man, talking within a minute to try to explain, you got to hit the key points.
Whose idea was it for you to talk over her?
It was her all day. She was very much like,
that.
She was just like, yo, I want you to like talk over the video and like kind of make it funny. She's like, cause you're like naturally funny. She's like, when you try to be funny, you're not funny. But like when you actually just talk regular, like you're a funny person.
That's pretty true.
I really be trying hard to be funny, and I'm like, fuck it, I don't even care no more.
Yeah, when you just say stuff, that's what's funny.
I think that's what's funny.
Yeah, you should be talking your shit, whatever comes to your mind. But that was cute. That had me weak. So, cause there's a lot of how like guys think like, what is this? Oh, now you doing this something with your eyes, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what any of that stuff is.
I don't know what it is.
And I'm
like, she put like all types of like different things, like I thought it was like lotion for her eyebrows, her eyelashes. No, it's like stuff to keep it in place.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, ain't no fucking way.
Yeah.
But
one, they spend too much money. That's a lot of product, and it looked like it took a lot of time. So shout out to her. Shout out to any other girlies putting on makeup, I guess.
Yeah, that content. I've been watching her do her content with like she did one today, like for curling her hair.
Yeah.
Hey man, shout out to y'all that do that every day. I'm glad I just get haircuts. I haven't had a haircut in like 2 weeks. Got an appointment. Yeah, really thugging. I got an appointment on Friday. About to keep it chill. But man, you got this on here. Like, oh, let's talk about it. The Charlotte Shout Festival is like up and popping right now. It's gonna be here for a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, I haven't been yet, but I saw some people posted on Instagram, so it looked like it's live out there. Yeah. Again, Charlotte Shout is just bringing a bunch of art, food, music, fashion, all of that to the city from the 4th through the 20th. Mm-hmm. You can go out there. It's gonna be a time. So take your kids, take your significant other, take yourself. Take your friends.
You might meet people out there.
Yeah, that part too. Yeah. That part too.
Let's go ahead and get to it. You know, somebody dropped a video this week.
Who's calling my phone?
Who's calling this?
Who's calling my phone?
Who's calling that? Who's calling that?
What the fuck?
Cannot lie. This weekend, I realized more and more. I love Kendrick, but I think I identify more with like Drake and like his antics.
A lot of people do.
So I'm gonna let you cook on this one because you know you've been a big advocate for Drake. You know I've been anti. So
let me preface this.
I'm not gonna jump on the train just yet.
I love them all though. Like I love Drake, I love Kendrick, I love J. Cole.
Dreamville Festival was this weekend.
Yep. And I just saw like a drawing view of the festival.
Crazy.
So many people out there. They say it's the fifth and final, but I did see something posted the other day about how it's actually not the final one.
It's not gonna be the final, yeah.
Yeah, they just signed another 5-year contract. So, you know, that could be hearsay, but we will soon find out what that's going to look like. But day 2 at Dreamville is today. But they've been having events just rolling out in the Raleigh-Durham area ever since Wednesday. So they said it's been a time up there. So, yeah. Anyway, back to the video, though. I thought it was phenomenal. At first, I was kind of like, But then I got, because when I was watching, I was like, it's giving Kendrick.
It was.
Right? Okay. And then I'm like,
the squabble up video, the Not Like Us video,
all of that. And I was like, oh, he trolling. And so then I loved it even more because I'm like, he is the biggest troll because he loved doing little stuff like that. And he's doing the little foot dance too.
And the little turnaround.
Because Kendrick really don't be doing that for real.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was pretty funny. And it was cool because he had the owls in there. Because, you know, at the end of the Squabble Up video. Or no, Not Like Us video.
Not Like Us video.
Yeah, Not Like Us video. He had the one owl. And Drake had 6 owls.
Yeah, 6 owls.
Yeah, overseeing.
And the subtlety of like having like a confident, like he had his like ears up, whatever it's up, like a confident owl up, like.
Yeah. And then the jacket he had on was like Kendrick's rival high school, you know, and it was just a lot of little bits and pieces in there that you had to kind of catch. But also the choreographer that did Nokia also did the Hotline Bling video, which is pretty dope because this is the new Hotline Bling for the culture at this day and time, right? Yeah. And another fun fact, he dropped the video on Monday, which is the same date as when The Matrix came out, which debuted the Nokia phone. And in one of his songs, he say how he the new Neo.
Do you think he's the new Neo?
Is he the one? He's the one.
He's the boy.
He's the one.
All right.
The boy.
So I'm gonna say this.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna say this. It was a great video. I love the song actually. The song. It's one of those songs when you first hear like on the album, it's like, bro, what the fuck is this? But it's a banger. It's like it's the new Hotline Bling.
OVO sound.
I'm glad you literally said that because it is the new Hotline Bling. But I will say we gotta put this like beef to rest at this point. We gotta let it go because like.
Listen, I'm all for it, but the people just won't. The people won't rest.
The people won't rest. We gotta put it to rest. You know, I think it's effective like him being such a big superstar. And the fact that there's a like perception that he has lost, people can't live with it. But the fact that he's keeping it going too,
he hasn't lost.
Okay. I will
Calvin Sampson, head coach of Houston, who had a tremendous win last night, said last night, "You don't lose unless you quit." So at the end of the day,
and that is a word right there.
Okay, amen.
And what I will say,
because my boy is here to stay. The boy is here to stay.
I don't know if we're spreading misinformation too. You know, UMG just offered him like $250 million.
I did see something like that. Also, could be hearsay. We don't know.
Could be hearsay. We don't know. We don't want to put false information out.
That's what the people.
They're offering him $250 million. I don't know if he's going to take it. But I will say that I think that if he doesn't take that money, it's going to get ugly. Not just for him. It's going to get ugly for everybody.
Yeah, because they're saying that Kendrick didn't write it, Not Like Us. Did you see that too?
That's hearsay.
It's a lot of things going on. I don't know. But I also feel like the more that this lawsuit is drawn out is why you can't put the beef to rest. Because people are going to keep talking about it. But, you know, some people are like, man, I feel like by the end of the year, they're going to come out with a record together. I don't see that.
No, I posted that on my page.
Yeah, you did? Yeah, I don't see that, though.
I do think in time, all wounds heal. I did see something. I think you sent it to me where they were saying that, like, forever Kendrick has like hated on this guy and how he wanted to be like Lil Wayne back in the day, and just so happened Drake is on the label. I don't want to co-sign to all of that stuff. I do think that we all know that like Kendrick was a really big like Lil Wayne fan. I don't think he was jealous that Drake got to work with him more extensively. Like I don't think it would have worked if K-Dot would have been like a Young Money like artist.
Yeah, I couldn't see that.
But what I do know is that we're getting great music right now. We're getting great like things for the culture. Nokia is great for the culture, especially like right now. You put that video out when it's getting like now it's like 80 degrees now, and the day party with Alabama. Oh my God,
man, they throwing on Nokia at every party right now.
You have to.
And but I think not only is that song good for the culture, but like you said, the beef has been good for the culture because it's bringing back the competitiveness and like people really got to be on their pen or be on their mind game if they ain't using a pen when they get in that booth. Like the other day, you know, they dropped the baby freestyle.
Yeah. Oh.
And like, I've been like, where is the baby? You know, because his music has not hit the same since that first album Kirk came out. But with how he was spitting on that freestyle, that boy talking, and he took some jabs at Kendrick. So it's
I did see that, but do you really think he took jabs at Kendrick, or they kind of forcing it?
They could be forcing it, but at the same time, I'm here for it because, again, it's bringing back the competitive nature of the sport. So, like, now you're going to have, what if Kendrick responds to the baby? Then you got, you know, something there. Like, it's going to force the baby to have to, like, talk about something other than women shaking their ass and throwing cash. You know what I'm saying? So,
and Charlotte native, or
yeah,
in the area, people don't know, hey, baby about that life. He's
for real.
About that life.
For real. Kill somebody in that Walmart.
Hey, don't play with him. Hey, but now
he'll let you know.
Respect to him. But I was gonna say this.
I lived in that Walmart. My cousin told me that. He's like, "Oh, you about to move up here?" This was a couple years ago. He's like, "See, you about to move up here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm moving. You know, X, Y, and Z." He was like, "Oh, you talking about over there where the baby kid that got in the Walmart?" I said, "Hold on, which one now?" that was the one. He was like, "Oh yeah, that's the one." Yeah.
Nah, let me tell you though, I love this competitiveness that's coming back to hip hop. I do feel like, man, it's been a lot of bitch made BS like moving around in music for a while, but also it's just been lazy. You know, it's been really lazy. All of this like when people trying to like get streams or putting out these 2-minute videos, 2-minute like songs. Mm-hmm. Now we're getting back to like actual like quality of music and not quantity of music. So I'm all down for it. But you know, we've been putting out our plugged in playlist for every week. This week, y'all loved our playlist. I don't know what it was, but
we know what it was.
We know exactly what it was.
Make sure y'all go on our Apple Music, man. Follow us on Apple Music, and we have our separate accounts. It's not plugged in, but still, make sure you go follow that or add. I should say the plugged in. We outside. Yeah, we outside playlist.
I will say that Wiz Khalifa. I was looking because it
featuring Gunna. My boy in there because he slid on that hook.
Hey, let me tell you.
Let's play a little bit.
You got to.
Go ahead, though.
I'm gonna say this though. I was looking because I was like, man, Wiz is low key been trying to make a little comeback. Like hopping on freestyles, doing different things here and there. And then I found out he was coming out with Christian Orange Juice 2. And I don't know if y'all realized that was like our high school. That was like our high school era.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So for them, I gotta talk about it again, dog. Wiz Khalifa coming out with Christian Orange Juice 2 is just like for the culture.
It is. It's nostalgic.
Oh my goodness.
If you want some nostalgia, also make sure after y'all listen to this episode, go listen to last week's episode because we had a time on that. That was a fun episode.
That we did.
Let's play a little bit of 5 Star.
Go ahead.
It's the way it starts for me.
Yeah. Easy wine.
It's like you want to go outside in a drop top with the windows down, like you said.
Yeah, bro. You ain't gonna listen to this in the club.
No.
But you know, I think this album coming out is probably gonna be.
Here you go. He slid on this hook.
He did.
5 Star free bang. Yeah. Y'all go check that out, man. They slid on that.
Now check that out, and also the album releases April 18th too.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be on that. That's probably gonna
right before 420. He doing that on purpose.
You know 420 falls on Easter?
Well, look at God.
There's gonna be a lot of high people eating Easter dinner.
Listen, God made all things on this earth.
He works in mysterious ways now.
The green.
Hey.
And everything in between.
Come on, Jesus.
Amen. I won't be indulging, but y'all have a time with that. I'm gonna go see my family for Easter.
Hey.
And leave it there.
Your boy might make some oregano brownies.
Oh, all right.
I'll
slide back through here.
I won't
pick me up one.
Yeah, go ahead and pick you up one. Yeah, I might give my mama one. So
there you go.
I hope she don't listen to this. She might.
Single one.
Yeah. But man, you said Boss Man D-Lo came out. I didn't listen to Boss Man.
Yeah, Boss Man D-Lo dropped a single, Money Talks. Typical Boss Man D-Lo. I haven't seen this video. Yeah, I haven't seen this video go around about this guy talking about how he rap or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, big zop in a car. My car got keys. And it ain't really saying nothing for real, but it's like, you know, his cadence or whatever.
Like a superstar.
Yeah. Yeah. So he dropped, you know, his stuff I always feel good, make you bop a little bit, but he ain't talking about nothing for real.
No, he ain't.
And then
it's for the vibes outside. Like,
right.
That's all it is.
Yeah, for sure. And then some other people dropped too. Sierra dropped, Alex Isley, they all dropped some singles. Yeah. Alex Isley, I think album about to come out soon.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
I'm excited for that. And then, who else did I put on there?
Dustin Conrad.
I love me some Dustin Conrad. He was dropping every week.
Play some of that real quick, because I ain't even heard
got you. Little Dustin Conrad.
Because Tizo had like a little snippet that he had coming out. I was like, bro, I want to listen to that.
Man, it's been all over TikTok. He has not dropped that song yet. Baby.
They need to hear that.
Oh, man, I love he hit that. Here's Last Time with Dustin Conrad and Tizo Touchdown.
You know, they were mad at us last week. They were like, man, why didn't we like play some of the music while we were like, you know. You could have stopped it right there.
Right, I could have. I was thinking about it. Man,
oh my
hey, I've been trying to tell y'all for weeks, man. If y'all have not listened to Dustin Conrad, y'all need to do it. All right.
Yeah.
He on TikTok. He's got some EPs and different things on Apple Music. Some of his old stuff. His albums go crazy. He actually came to Charlotte last year, like end of the summer, I want to say.
Yeah.
But he's a great artist. If you haven't listened to Satin or even Submissive, Colorway, any of those, go check them out, man.
No, facts.
Yeah.
So, I was gonna say this. Like, what were some of the songs? Because I know you went out to Alibi last weekend.
Yeah, let me talk about Alibi.
Come on, let's talk about it.
Oh, you want me to talk about the music first? Or we can talk about the music first.
Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Do it.
All right, so Alibi, new spot here in Charlotte on the west side. I think they say.
On the west side.
On the west side. You know me. I don't geographically wrong person to talk to here, but that's where I was at. So it was a day party out there hosted by Better Luck Tomorrow. I have yet to go to a Better Luck Tomorrow party that didn't ring off.
Right.
So it was a good time. Went out with my boy O. First time he was out in a minute, or I should say me, not him. But it was a dope spot though, and the music was pretty good. They had different DJs throughout the course of the day. It started at 3. Mm-hmm. And ended at like 9. Unfortunately, though, we didn't get there until about 7. That was not our plan because we were a little too old. We wanted to get there earlier, but we was just so tired. And you know, we was on each other's time. I'm like, man, I'm taking a nap. He's like, all right, I'm running behind. I was like, cool. I actually gonna go back to sleep and just let me know when you get ready. And so then it became 7, and I was there by like 7:30. Yeah. So anyway, get there, good vibe, cool DJ, playing some different music, play some some Future. Like I said, Nokia went off in there. Everybody loved that. The girlies love that for sure. But even the dudes, you can tell who's coming. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody was going crazy. And it's like a dance floor there, so people were actually dancing. And so they played, what's the land dance? Where them fans at? It's not called Where them fans at.
Boots on the Ground.
Boots on the Ground, thank you. They played Boots on the Ground. I actually got hit with a fan.
They had fans in the day party?
She came with one. She was prepared. She knew they was going to do it.
Ain't no way.
And it's hot out there. They probably wanted this fan anyway. But she knew that was going to, they was going to do that because she just clapped. She was ready. Goddamn girl. Yeah. So anyway, it was a good time though. I think the DJs earlier were probably better, just being honest. Yeah. But the DJ that we had at that time, he was okay. But they played March Madness at one point, and they dropped the basketballs, like inflated basketballs, and they was just passing around all that, and so it was hitting people in the heads and everything. It was a good time though. So it was just passing around. Then people got annoyed, so then they started deflating them, and it was all really crazy. Yeah. But it was a dope spot though. The bartenders, hopefully they get better as the time goes on because they was moving mad slow. But it's hella people too. I heard
it was mad people. I heard the bartenders were moving slow, but I also heard that the drinks are a little pricey out there.
A little pricey. Let me tell y'all right now. Go pregame before you go. My one drink was $19. And I got my usual. Let me tell you Sierra's usual, because if y'all want to have a good time.
I put my shorty on that too.
If y'all want to get, I put everybody on that. And shout out to my homie Sheeta actually put me on this a year or 2 ago. I can't remember when we went out one time. First time I went out with her, she put me on this. Was tequila reposada, your choice. I go Terramana usually, and pineapple and Sprite. The Holy Trinity, as I call it.
Not for real. Are you telling me that Terramana was $19?
Yeah.
So how much was Don Julio?
I don't know. I'm not paying for Don Julio when I compare for Terramana and get the same kind of feeling.
Let me tell you this: drinks in Vegas are like $20 minimum. Well, so for you to be trying to charge that in Charlotte is insane.
That's what it was, and it took forever to get my drink. Shout out to Shorty though; she was working her tail off, but she was not moving fast enough. She was in a tizzy. But so needless to say, I only bought one drink. Luckily, I ran into some friends though who had a section. He was like, "Sierra, what's up?" He bought me a shot.
Yeah,
And
that's
he was
love.
like, yeah, you cut my table, gave me another one. But yeah, I wasn't paying for nothing else up in there.
That's why.
I
ain't gonna lie. That's why I low key became a homebody because I'm like, bro, ain't no way I'm about to go out and like. I went out yesterday, but
it's expensive to be outside.
I took like 2 or 3 shots before I left the house yesterday, just so I would not drink a lot.
That's smart. I think it's what you got to do now.
Mm-hmm.
It's too expensive to be outside, man. We was at Platform on Friday night watching the Final Four games, and we had to spend $180.
Oh, Platform has really good food. It's a good vibe, but it's pricey.
It's pricey.
It's pricey.
It was a good vibe for sure. If y'all haven't been to Platform yet, sports bar here in Charlotte, they opened up the balcony or rooftop, whatever.
Yeah.
That joint is nice. I didn't actually walk out there. I kind of just saw it on the edge or whatever, but it's bigger than I thought it was going to be, like that balcony.
Also, we got to talk about Blinders too, because Blinders is going to be an excellent competitor for Platform. Mm-hmm. It has the same feel. And
Does it have better parking?
No, it's even worse.
Oh, great.
So they have a little small parking lot, but the only people that can park in that parking lot are the employees.
Makes sense. That's the worst part about Platform. Like, we had to park all the way at the QT.
Yeah. And
then walk all the way up to Platform. Now, it's not that far, but it's far enough.
Parking is bad, and there's no parking at these spots. I think the best spot that has parking is like maybe Stacks. But do you really want to drive like 30? Well,
even Stacks parking would be an OD. I went there Wednesday night.
I'll be parking on the other side of the street just so I can get out.
Yeah, I went there Wednesday night and the parking was insane. People was parked all on the grass, on the side of the street, like on the main street. But anyway, back to Alibi. So, like I said, I think it's gonna be a cool spot for the summer though. Like, I think people better get in now. Like, if they want these sections and stuff now, they better get it in now in the springtime, because come June, and more people come in there, like more, if they get, some celebrities and stuff like that in there, or, it just gets more and more popular with these different day parties and different events that they trying to throw on, it's going to be expensive. I think right now they said there's like a 2-bottle limit or something like that.
Minimum or max?
Minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to buy at least 2 bottles?
I think so. Okay. I think so. And it was like $6.50, which isn't too bad. Man, considering some other places where sometimes you get 1 bottle and it's $4 something, but I guess it also depends on what bottles you get. Yeah. So, but that was like $6.50 for the sections on the side. Now, if you want to sit up top near like the DJ booth, you're looking at over $1,000.
Nah,
is what I think the people say.
I'm gonna tell you this, man. We've had this conversation before. I'm getting tired of this shit. I'm getting tired of I just miss the old days where we could go into a club or a bar, just have a good time, and not have to pay for sections. You really pay to get in. You pay the VIP line to get in, but now you got to pay for a section.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
That's a choice. But in Alabama, that's what I'm saying. Like, they got a dance floor
where it's spacious.
It's spacious. Enough. It's spaced out. So you got you're literally, if you got a section, you're kind of sitting up off to the side a little bit, and you got a huge dance floor from the bar to where the DJ booth is, just like right up here.
There's room for people to be in. Moving groove. Yeah. All right, before I talk my shit, I gotta go in to actually experience it. I don't want to talk before I experience it. I am, cause what you told me is it's camp, it's almost like Camp in Houston.
Yeah, it gave that vibe. Like, we ran into some people there, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, have you ever been to Houston?" And we were like, "Yeah." And they were like,
"Yeah."
It was like, "Oh, March friends," and we were like, "Yeah." And she's like, "This reminds us of camp. Like, does it not remind y'all of camp? Have y'all been there?" We're like, "Yeah, it does give you that feel." And everybody saw that when they seen the video or whatever too, when it was coming out, because it kept being posted on TikTok and stuff.
Do you think that's good for Charlotte though?
I think it is. I think it's good to have a spot like that, because when you think about camp in Houston, you think about all the stars being there, like James Harden, Drake. Like, Drake was just there 2 weeks ago. Okay. You know what I mean? And Lil Baby, everybody likes going to camp. That's the spot. And so I think they're trying to do that with Alibi. Yeah. I think they said Jim Jones was going to be there yesterday. And now he ain't no Drake.
Jim Jones is Jim Jones.
But Jim Jones is Jim Jones, exactly. Yeah. So still, bodies in there. And when I was out the other week, I seen Colin Saxton in the city. He was at Dream. He was? I had never been to Dream. Dream is actually what Firehouse used to be, for people that don't know, because I didn't know that.
Dream is nice.
It's straight. Yeah. It's straight. So yeah, he was in there, so I think it's gonna bring some people out.
I don't know. I think maybe I am old enough to where when I go into bars and clubs or whatever, I really go sit my ass down.
Let me say this too though. I think it's gonna bring the people in because it's attached to Flirt, which Flirt is a strip club. And it gives you, it's not, now I hadn't been in Onyx, but from what people say, Onyx can be kind of together, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So Flirt gives you upscale strip club, like it's giving, probably a better version of P Valley.
You know what's crazy? I was like legit. Nah, P Valley, I'm waiting for that.
I can't wait for that to come back up too.
But like, I was talking to a girl in line, like she was waiting on her. This is the funniest story ever. So like, I was in line, so I talk to anybody in line.
Sure.
I was talking to this white guy, old white guy. I thought he was trying to cut in front of me. I was gonna let him cut. He was like, no, I'm just like walking around. We was talking about the game yesterday. We'll talk about that later. So I turned behind me, and this is girl like trying to get into the like blinders. Mm-hmm. And I was like, so like, why aren't you at like Alibi? Everybody's at Alibi right now. She was like, She's like, it's too big. I said, what do you mean? She's like, she's been in Charlotte since 2017. She's been for a while. She's like, but the clubs that she prefers to go to or bars are like smaller. I think almost like how Cloud was. Cloud was smaller, kind of a bit more intimate.
Yeah, but Cloud on the decline.
I heard they
closed
it down.
Yeah, they closed it down.
Maybe we could open up like a brunch spot there.
But what a time man Cloud used to be.
Oh my goodness. But she was pretty much saying like she prefers like how Charlotte used to be as far as just like the smaller bars and clubs. I'm like, we're not going back to that. We're not going back
I think there's probably some like hole in the wall type spots kind of like that, but they just end up going under. Like there used to be a spot I used to love going to, hole in the wall, real small venue called Fantasy Lounge. Everybody's like, Sierra, why do you like this place? It's ghetto. But it gave me South Carolina.
I'm about to say
it felt like home to me. That's what I told her.
Yeah.
And they would always have a DJ from the 803, and I'm like, that's home for me. I'm Columbia grown and also Simpsonville grown. Like it was home for me. I love Fantasy.
When you go into a bar, you go to like a club, and it's like niggas with two Michelob Ultras in their hand. Hey,
you having a time?
No, Bud Light Platinums. That's what it was. Yeah. Bud Light Platinums. 2 Bud Light Platinums in one hand. Yeah, that's home for us.
Exactly. They had holes in the couches. they had a drink called the Pink Panty. It had Ciroc in it.
Really?
And like peach rings and other stuff. Oh it was a time in there. And of course they had hookah or whatever. But like the junk went crazy.
But I want to ask you this question: do you feel like our clubs are a bit more Do we exploit each other with our clubs though?
Exploit?
Yeah, exploitation.
How so?
The bar, like the section is one thing, right? You got to pay for it.
Sure.
But then there's a minimum how much you got to pay for liquor once you're in the section. Like in a given night, if you get a section, you could spend up to like $1,500.
Oh, no doubt.
And then like it's a situation where it's wasteful because I've seen videos of camp where when you close that, like when it's closing, people are literally just pouring out the liquor.
Yeah, if you don't drink it all, that's why you got to make sure you got enough people and that they're gonna drink it all.
And then there's bottles wars that go on.
And you can't take the bottles out the club.
Exactly. I mean, you shouldn't take.
In some places you can.
But if I buy the bottle, why can't I take it out?
Right. And then the other part is, they be locking the bottles up now on your table, so that they control the pour.
Exactly. So like that's my question I always ask myself. As far as just like maybe we're hopping low key into the outlet. We'll see.
We're just talking that shit today.
We're just talking that shit. Like we try to be out of here at a certain given time so we can go watch.
It's game day, baby. It's game day.
I always ask myself when it comes to like clubs and like back in the day I'm always gonna say back in the day I need to grow up. Well, I need to get with the times, old man. But like I really feel like there was a time where we would go into spots, we pay our little money, we get our drinks. Drinks weren't that expensive, and then like we have our time. I feel like now when you go out to like an Imperial, you go out to a Alibi, clearly you go to where do we go? We went to Vinyl. Vinyl is pricey too.
Vinyl is pricey. Vinyl makes a great strawberry lemon drop.
Really?
With sugar on the rim.
I wish you would have told me that. I would have tried that. I would have really been out
there.
Is
that not too girly of a drink for you? Do you care about stuff like that?
I don't care as long as if it's good drink. I
they
don't
give
like
it to you in a bottle that you can hold like this.
I'm gonna get my baby to get it, and then I'll try some of hers. But I do think that sometimes like when it comes to like going out, you gotta realize like all right, I need to mentally prepare myself. If we went out for her birthday, I bought that section.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I told her I wasn't doing that this year.
Right.
Because you spend so much money like with sections and stuff like that. So I wonder, do you think we exploit each other? Do we have is it like a drug dealer's mindset when it comes to like these kind of like businesses?
A little bit. I think they want to spend money like drug dealers for a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also the way they run the business is almost like in a standpoint of like, all right, most businesses, like you run a business. Mm-hmm. Like if you spend $1, like you might get $1.50 back. Mm-hmm. But like with a lot of these like restaurants and even like some of these clubs, if they spend $1, they want $2 back off of like what they spent.
Right.
Is that really how business work? Like you being an entrepreneur?
I mean, yeah, you want your return on the investment. You want, the profit to happen.
But off rip though.
I mean, it takes time, and I think for example with Alibi, right? So it's the same owners that own Cloud. Yeah. They're about to close down Cloud. So now you're coming over here and you're merging with. I mean, and those are the same people I think that also own Flirt. So the way it's set up, right? You got Alibi on this side. So you got that kind of day party vibe, whatever. And then you can walk inside. You got a bar in the middle because you already had a bar outside, but you also got a bar in the middle that's open inside, just kind of cool off a bit. And the bathroom's in there. And then when you look to the other side right there, right, and the doors are open, you can see the stripper poles and all that. Like you see Flirt, and it's like, damn, that look dope in there because of the setup. It's real clean. It's like it gives you upscale type strip club a little bit, and just the aesthetic. So when you get done with this day party, say, 9, 10 o'clock, you can just slide over there if it's opening, depending on what time it opens. I don't know what time.
Probably open around 10, 11.
Yeah. And, they got a food truck outside. You got everything you need right there. Because, to be honest, you can't get to anywhere else that close from Alibi. Like, it's not like...
It's really
it's out there.
Yeah,
it's out there. That's what me and O was talking about. Like, it's kind of out there. So, it's not like, where you go to Cloud and you can get to Dream, you can walk there, or you can get to Imperial 7 minutes away.
You can go to Tattoo and Booze, walk up to Imperial, then there's a whole slew of clubs right there.
Yeah, it's not like that. You got to get in the car. You know what I'm saying?
Once you're there, you might as well stay there.
You can stay there, exactly. Yeah. Damn. So I think it's kind of...
It's a good business mindset.
Yeah, so I think what they're doing, they're going to make their return on investment. And again, if they can get the people in there that, the celebs and stuff like that, because they've been able to do that in Cloud in the past, like when concerts are in town or whatever, being able to bring Wale, bring in Meek Mill, or different people in there, even NBA players and stuff like that. Like in football players, like for my birthday when we was in there, damn, I forgot who we saw. Tom was like, damn, isn't that such and such for the it was running back. Like, I'm blanking right now.
Miles Sanders?
Nah.
Do you play for Carolina?
No.
Okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't even somebody from the Panthers.
Okay.
But I forgot who it was. But I'm like, damn, so you can bring people in there, but it's just a matter of keeping the vibes high and keeping people wanting to come. But I think it's going to be hard if the drink's going to stay that damn high. Yeah. But again, alcohol is getting more expensive because going back to what you said,
them tariffs. Them tariffs. Hey, I seen something I know some people that went out to Alibi last night.
Yeah. And
they were saying that one girl was saying that she spent she bought 2 or 3 drinks or shots. She spent $80 on 2 shots.
I believe it.
And I was like, man, that's not sustainable. Now, don't get me wrong.
Can't do it every weekend.
You can't do it every weekend. But I will say that there is a different overhead for black businesses than it is for white businesses. Because Blinders, I got wings and I got 2 gin and juices. I'm a gin drinker, man. That's just what it is. That was $30.
Yeah, that's not bad.
If I would have got that same thing from an Alibi or
or platform,
it would have been $60 for 2 drinks and it probably been $50.
Yeah,
40.
But still more.
Yeah. So I wonder, what is the upcharge what is the difference in the way our business templates and theirs? You know what I mean? Where it's are we trying to make our money back quicker, or are we being charged more to have the same businesses as whites?
I think it's twofold. I think it's one, as black ownership, there's a shorter leash there, where what they're renting the place for or what they're doing there could be much higher than what the white people are being charged.
And the insurance probably is higher.
All those things. And I also feel like for black people, we want black excellence, right? So when you look at Platform, when you look at Alibi, that looks different than some of the other places. Now, Blinders does have a cool aesthetic. It looks from the inside,
really cool aesthetic,
right? But when you think about, places like white establishments like The Local or
it's gastro bar type.
Yeah, or Tilt or whatever. It's just real underwhelming as far as an aesthetic standpoint.
Because they're not there for the aesthetic.
They're not there for that. White people are just there to have a good time, just get drunk. They just want to throw it back.
That's a fact.
And when I say throw it back, I ain't talking about ass. I'm talking about shots and drinks.
They try to throw it back sometimes. I see somebody throwing it back in Blinders yesterday.
Chill. No booty probably. But in the black establishments, I think that there's a mindset of we got to be twice as good, right? Because the economic piece there, right, could be more challenging.
I can see.
But then I think the other part of it is, yeah, they do want to get their money back, and they know that black people are going to come in there and they're going to spend their money because this is becoming a more African American dominant place. I feel like Charlotte is. There's so many black people here, and they want that kind of vibe. They wanted to feel like an Atlanta. They wanted to feel like a Houston, a DC. Like they're trying to bring that type of culture and like lifestyle to Charlotte. Is what it feels like because of the places that they're building. The type of events that they're trying to put on, like it plays off a lot of what some of these other cities are doing.
Yeah.
And everybody keeps saying, "Oh, Charlotte doesn't have anything going on. Charlotte's boring, this, that, and the third."
Yeah.
It's like, nah, we're gonna show y'all. Charlotte got some shit going on. Like we're here, we're doing, like the block party at the museum.
Yeah.
We're doing the brunch, the Boyard brunch at Camp North End, where we just bringing people out, bringing food trucks out to black businesses. It's, just doing different things like that to keep that black community engaged in. I think it's on the up and up. We'll see how it plays out, but
I agree. I think my biggest thing, I just want to see Charlotte develop its own identity.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that like in its own way, but I do see that like in a lot of like ways we're kind of like style biting from other cities. Now I think that imitation is the best form of like flattery, or the best form of flattery is imitation, and like. Even like when I used to think about going back to Greenville per se, like I would say like, ooh, when I was in Seattle, I want to bring this back to Greenville. I want to do this. So I can see where people in Charlotte, like they're going to other places. They're like, yo, we can have this here.
Exactly.
So that makes sense. But I want us to make sure like we're taking care of each other, because there is like an environment where in our restaurants and I'm gonna come back to our restaurants, because I do feel like there's a lot of times where we went to RH rooftop.
Oh yeah,
in the South Park. It's a white-owned restaurant, but they literally took forever in a day to get us our food, right?
Right.
But there was a level of like professionalism where they were like, "Hey, look, your food is on us tonight. You got to pay for your drinks, and we're gonna give you a free dessert."
Oh, nice.
You see what I'm saying? It's a difference in.
So you don't think black restaurants do that?
I haven't been the one where I've experienced that.
Interesting.
I've been to restaurants where I've waited like over an hour, but the excuse has always been we cook everything made to order. So like, there's been situations where it's like, oh, we're sorry. This is just how we do things here. Gotcha. So I'm not saying that all our restaurants do that, and I'm not saying that they don't operate in that level of professionalism as like a RH did. But I do wish that sometimes when I would go to some of these restaurants, I would kind of get that same like level of customer service, I guess you would say. But I do see though that there's a lot of times we expect more from our restaurants than we do like white restaurants. And I kind of feel that way with bars too. I go to a white bar and I just enjoy it for what it is. Yeah. But then if we go to Alibi, or if we're very overly critical of like what we...
Why do we think that is though?
That's a good question.
I think it's because of what society has put on us. Because of the same thing that I just said a couple minutes ago. Like, we feel like we have to be twice as good. So it's like, you're going to bring this here, like, let's see what it's about. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, let me see if it's really hitting, like, a camp in Houston. Like, I've been to camp, so let's compare the two. You know what I mean?
There is that level, that spirit of, like, comparison, Yeah. I think it's a lot of that in our in our community culture as well, where, if you step out, say, for example, if I stepped out like this in Alabama, where they're going to look at me like, what this nigga got on? You feel me? So you got to always come correct. But if I went to, like, the local in this, like, I would probably fit in,
Right. Yeah, you'd be just fine.
I'll be just fine. Nobody's looking at me like, bro, what does he have on? It's very much like, man, be comfortable as long as you're here to, like, have a good time. That's all that matters. I do think that there's a level of, like, expectations within the black culture.
Absolutely.
But also, I think that could also be a detriment to, like, our culture as well, because I think that we don't accept each other for who we are. We have to live up to a certain expectation. And I think that kind of hurts us in, like, business sometimes. Also, not to mention, we are very quick to not support a place that is like our own. If, like, say for example, someone does like something at Alibi that's like, okay, I'm not like, this just disrespects me. I'm not going back anymore. Where like if something happens at a Ruth Chris, it's like, oh, it's okay. Like, I'll go back to Ruth Chris next month type thing. So we're very quick to like cut our own like businesses off, but we'll give like other businesses a second chance.
I think yes and no with that, because I believe that it probably depends on the person too, more so, and what their values are and what they're gonna stand on or not. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to think of like, there's been a scenario where I feel like that I'm like, oh, I'm not going back there. I don't know. Me, I just love food, so like, I'm also a person to give people chances.
That's
Whether that's good or bad, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you got to give people chances.
Yeah.
You know, I give everybody a chance.
True.
Goddamn.
True. But I do think it's a society thing where we just hold ourselves to a higher standard. But I think that's what we've been taught at such a young age.
Yeah.
That is filtered into everything that we do or everything that we see from our own.
No, I
you know,
agree.
and just with white people, it's like, oh, it is what it is. Like, you know what kind of establishment this gonna be.
Yeah.
You know, like even at Vinyl, like I get pissed off at Vinyl because why y'all don't have the games up on the TV?
That shit piss me. Not only do
But I still go back there because I like that damn burger.
Yeah.
And them strawberry lemon drops.
I love their doggone deviled eggs. They
Deviled
got
eggs are
them
good.
fried oyster deviled eggs.
And the guacamole there. To
They
die
got good.
for.
They got good.
The best guac in the city.
Hey, Vinyl.
Plug.
Hey, but I know we stayed on this a little longer, man. I really wanted to talk about something else too because it kind of like hit me.
Go ahead, we just vibing today.
Yeah, we vibing today. So I be posting like different stories, like different things on my story, and I posted that story about was it Denzel Washington and his wife? Their first date, they went out, and in the process of that, he ran out of money on his first date. Okay. She paid the cab fare, and they've been together for over 41 years. So I asked this question on my story: does that still exist within our society? Anyone that said yes, you are a bold-faced lie.
What do you mean? Does that say this? Which part? Them being married for 40 years, or,
no, not
her
41
picking
years.
up?
Her, like on a first date.
Her picking up that cab.
Like a woman picking up the cab fare, like, hey, look, I know this is like what it is. Like, he runs out of money, and then she's like, oh, it's okay. I'll pick up the cab fare, make sure we both get home, and still like keep the courtship going.
What was the?
It was 50-50.
50-50. I think that's probably accurate. Some people still think like that. Some people do not. You think it's a clear cut? Just know it doesn't exist. But I do feel like there are people that like that where there's some give and take like that, where you have to understand where your person is at that time, right, and what they can supply and what they can't, right. But at the same time, some women have other expectations. It's like if that happened on the first day, oh, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
You know, because how you gonna take me out and not have enough? But it's like, if it's my one time to take you out, then shit, I'm gonna make that play. I gotta figure it out.
You gotta figure it out.
Gotta figure it out by the night.
Yeah, and that's kind of like how I was thinking about it at first. But then I started thinking about it from a standpoint of like, because in that same screenshot, there was like somebody on Twitter that said, "Man, this right here would have been in somebody's group chat right after like this."
Oh. It would
literally been in the group chat, and the girls would have been like, "Girl, I know you didn't take up that pet cow fare. I know you didn't do this."
And she like, "Yeah, I did."
Yeah, and then they're gonna be looking at her like, "You stupid." But like, also, I'm not gonna say that it's clean cut. Like, no, like nobody would do that in our generation, because I do think that there are people that value other things outside of just like material things or the financial things.
Yeah.
And I do think that there are some situations where, like, for example, if we went on a date. Hypothetically,
I think that was hypothetical.
Yeah, it was clearly, but like we went on a date and we're having a really good conversation. The vibes are there, and I'm like, "Fuck it, man, let me go ahead and buy us another drink," even though I may have budgeted this amount for this food. You know what I mean? And I'm like, "Damn," and I'll let you know, like, "Hey, I ain't even gonna lie to you. We was having such a great conversation. I did buy us another drink, but that was the cab fare money." I think if you was having a good time, you would be like. I would hope that like most women would be like, you know what, I got you, because like I understand what you were trying to do.
I think with that, it's a little bit of like, if that happens, you're reading each other's character. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that is, if you do that and I'm like, nah, like you should have budgeted. Like, why'd you order that other drink? I didn't ask for another drink. We could have used that. That could be something they say though.
Yeah, that would be something they say though. Yeah, exactly.
You know, but so now you can't budget your money. They can say that.
Yeah.
But then it could be on the other side, like you just said, like, oh, I have no problem. Like, that's cool. You know? Or you could be on a date with a girl, you get the food, and she's like, oh, no, I got the drinks. It's fine. You know? And
I also think about it because I didn't even think about this till now, right? You know, if we were in college, I think that would be a bit more acceptable. I would assume that they met before, like, he was like in his early 20s when they were trying to figure things out. I think people in our 30s, if that was to happen, I think that percentage it even decreases even more. A lot of women in their 30s, I would believe, off of just like talking and having different conversations, it would very much be you a 30-year-old man, you don't have enough money to like take care of the bill and also get us home, nah, it's dead.
That man could be in between blessings.
Yeah, like what's that movie Acrimony? Bro from with Taraji P.
I never seen that movie, but I know what movie you're talking about. Though.
Yeah. Bro was like asked out. She was paying for everything. Yeah. And then when they finally like get a divorce, he hit big.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's how it be sometimes.
Not really do though.
Sometimes you gotta stick with them, see them through.
Nah, sometimes that woman block your blessing.
Oof. That's true too.
Man will too though.
Yeah. It goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
Yeah. When God remove them from you in that season, it could be a reason.
I ain't gonna lie though. I had somebody ask me the other day, like, "Hey man, when you get married?" I'm like, "Bro, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like, I want to get married." But I'm like, "What really benefits like the man in a marriage?" There's more I could say. I know we're getting off tangent, but
right. We vibing today.
Stay
with us.
I really do. Hey, if you don't want to talk about this, grow up. You feel me? Grow up.
We just conversating.
But really, it's like we can talk about this because we're done with Women's Month. But
oh shit! But like, where is this going?
Nah, like marriage doesn't necessarily like help the masculine in the relationship.
Okay, I want us to talk about this, but this also made me think about like what benefits does it give you to have a child? I saw this video the other day.
It doesn't. It literally takes
it made
away.
me think about this even more, and I was like saying this to my mom the other day too about like sometimes I'm like just like what's the purpose of actually having kids because they're just expensive.
It's just
like you're giving somebody else another life, but it's like all your life you want kids, and I do want kids even though they seem expensive as hell. But I get what you're saying with like a marriage piece because I go back and forth a lot of times. Do I want marriage? Because it's like what
benefit?
What benefit do you have to that? It feels very much contractual.
Mm-hmm. It's a business.
It's a business, yeah. But at the same time, I think that it could be, built on love and that kind of foundation, and then the kids play a part in it too. But I just think with the way that the world is going right now, it makes you kind of second guess those things when at one point marriage was such a valuable thing, and it's like a goal that people had. You know what I mean?
I think our generation is definitely a pessimistic like generation when it comes to like relationships and also when it comes to marriage. Because for one, we've seen our parents go through hell and back to have a household. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And to be in a marriage, and I think it makes it difficult too because we've never seen like successful marriage up close.
Before, yeah.
So then it makes us be like, well, what do we do with this? But why do you feel like it doesn't provide any masculinity or whatever?
Well, for a man, all right, let's say this. For a man, it doesn't necessarily like benefit us, and the reason why I say that is because like there's more money that comes out on our side than it does on the woman's side.
Not necessarily. That varies from relationship to relationship.
It varies from relationship to relationship, but the kind of man that I am, I would be the one that is like fitting most of the bill for the wedding when it comes to
the wedding. Doesn't the bride's family?
That shit don't happen no more.
Yes, it do.
Barely.
Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence kids are getting married, and he said,
Sierra.
Eddie Murphy, you got it.
Sierra.
I mean, Martin Lawrence, you got it.
Sierra. They are millionaires.
That's what happens. There's a client I have. His daughter's getting married.
Is he white?
Yes, and he's paying for it.
White.
So in black families, that doesn't happen anymore.
No.
You might be right though, because I got a black. I got a black friend. He's getting married. They're engaged, and I feel like I gotta ask him about this. Because I feel like he said that they were pretty much paying for the wedding.
Most black people don't. Most of their fathers are not really in their lives. Respectfully, like my dad ain't in my life.
That's true.
I mean, thankfully, my girl, like her dad's in her life, but
you don't think he paid for the wedding? He already told you he would.
I think he would. I think he would try, but
you gotta work out a deal.
Goddamn, yeah. Like it's gonna be a situation where.
Hey, these things to think about when you date.
It's expensive, bro. Like, you gotta think about it. Like, some women really want, like, I'm not gonna call you out. I know you're gonna watch this.
Uh-oh.
She watches all our pods, for real.
Love that. Really we appreciate you.
Yeah, but it ain't personal. But I do know that, like, she wants, like, a really nice wedding. I'm
like a big wedding?
Yes. I'm like, well, we're gonna do that. We gotta set some parameters, make sure we saving this money for
this. How I see it. If you want a very expensive wedding, we might as well do a destination wedding.
She don't want to do that.
Okay. Well, that's what I was gonna say. You might as well do a destination wedding, right? And
we just gonna leave
see who come, right? Figure that out.
Yeah.
Right. But at least you're spending money on somewhere you want to be.
Yeah.
You can continue your honeymoon there, or go to an island close, so it's not as expensive. or just get married at the courthouse and have a little soiree.
Nah, this is what we're gonna do.
My parents did.
Figured it out. We're gonna invite 1,000 people, right?
And you gonna have them pay?
Hear me out.
Oh shit!
We're gonna make people pay $300, $350 a person
to attend.
To attend.
Yeah, I show you who really care about you.
Yeah, for real. That list will go from 1,000 to about 100, maybe 50,
maybe less,
maybe 50.
Yeah.
But yeah, do that. That ain't gonna fly, but that would be a nice little gift.
I know one thing. If I pay $350 come to your wedding, you better have a good ass DJ. You know I don't play about DJ. You know I don't play about food. The food better be
good. You know I'm gonna come to you for the DJ. Okay. You don't want to know the people in the city.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to continue to get plugged in. I'm not as social, but I'm trying.
You got DJ Suave.
Yeah, I do know him.
I wonder if he could do weddings. So.
Yeah, I'm sure he would.
But back to what we was talking about. I do think that like when you think about like divorces, if you don't have a prenup, it don't matter. Like for the most part, if you have kids, usually the judge is going to side on the side of the woman as far as like making sure the kids are in the house with her, making sure like if you were to like, if not even, I mean it's even worse if you're the sole like breadwinner, but if you're making more, you got to kind of offset her lifestyle. Then there's the 401k thing that you got to worry about. Say if I have like $1 million in like my 401k and she has like 50 cents, they're gonna put those both together, split those right down the middle, and she's gonna get more.
Yeah.
And then I gotta start all over again. Those are things you gotta think about.
You gotta think about it. So you gotta make sure you take care of your money. Make sure you got a good lawyer if it comes down to that.
Yeah, but you also gotta make sure you're the woman that you know like is really for you.
Right.
But
anything can happen.
Yeah, it can. But that was a conversation that will arise.
Bingo. So stay ready.
No,
but I mean, I think that's an interesting point though. Like, so what was your answer other than it doesn't help you from a masculine standpoint as to why you don't want to get married? Or not why you don't want to get married.
I want to get married. I have reservations because I know that I don't like spending money, bro. Like that's really what it boils down to. And I know like with getting married, like there's a whole different lifestyle that I want to like provide for my life.
So let me say this. I think marriage is compromise, as with relationships. So if marriage is compromise, can there be compromise around how y'all get married?
I think there will be compromise around how we get married. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. $30K for a wedding is insane. And let's talk about it.
Just think about where that money could go to.
Can we get personal?
Let's get personal.
Can I ask you, like previously,
okay,
in your last episode of your last season of life, can I ask, like you were planning up to? No, we can cut this.
Because I was engaged. Okay,
you were engaged, right?
I was
I didn't want to say it on. We could have cut it, Gerald, but. Yeah. Nah, so like you were previously engaged, like y'all were planning for the wedding. How did that?
It wasn't much. Nah, we were engaged for 2 years, so I mean it wasn't much planning.
Okay.
We talked a little bit about it, but we weren't big on like having a huge wedding. Like we had thought about possibly having a wedding, but then we were like, no, we'd rather spend money on like going off somewhere. So like. The plan was probably at some point we were gonna get married at like a courthouse or something, and then have like a little soiree. That's what I just mentioned to you, like because you could save money that way, right? Mm-hmm. And so have people just come and congratulate, and then we were gonna take a trip, like a huge trip somewhere to very expensive city. I mean not city, country.
You heard the ideas here, but we just gonna I know she's gonna kill me for this. But it is what it is. So, but man, let's get off. Man, we've been on the outlet.
Can't want to get off because he don't want to get in trouble, y'all.
Oh, I'm already in trouble, y'all. It's here. But she be thinking I be bringing out like problems. So it ain't no problems per se. We ain't even talked about this in a long while. It's just people been asking me like, when y'all get married? I'm like,
how long y'all been together again?
For a while. Nah, like all jokes aside, like we've been dealing with each other since.
Dealing is crazy. Y'all been dating since when?
We've been dating for 5 years.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. Like, how did? You're digging a deeper hole, my boy.
I know. 5 years. But
I'm tired, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad. But no, like I'm very transparent. It ain't nothing that we've like not talked about or like we've argued about. It's just like I'll just be thinking, and then I'll just bring it to the pod. So
yeah, this is our outlet. Women.
Hey.
Family.
Hey, women's
friends. This is our outlet. We should be talking up here.
We can have this, right?
Right. Damn.
Yeah, but
that'd be great.
We're off of that. because it's enough. Let's off the grid, man. We're gonna talk a little bit about sports. You know what's going on. You know we love to talk about sports. So if you don't want to be here at this point, you can exit out. Deuces, plug. But anyway, man, March Madness is starting to pick up now. I know we made our
dress it up and make it real for me.
Hey, March Madness. Basketballs, no inflated basketballs in here. But let's talk about what happened yesterday. That was the latest.
Oh, we're talking about yesterday.
No, let's talk about Friday. Let's go Friday first.
Let me just hold on a second. For those that can't see, I got on this throwback, Don Staley on the day.
You might need to squat down. I don't even know how the camera look. Yeah, there we go.
You see it? Bam. Okay.
You need to get some of the necklaces and like stuff or bracelets and stuff like Don. Yeah.
That's too much. I don't got Don money either. Don had on a Gucci garnet color tracksuit on Friday for the Final Four. Straight stepping. I can't wait to see what she got on today.
She a big stepper.
And listen, the way Texas started out that game, people thought that Texas was going to get us. I said, no, we got to just settle in. We got to just settle in.
Joyce?
We got to just settle in. Joyce Edwards is going to be like that. When it's all said and done, Joyce Edwards is going to be one of the best players in the country. I get chills just thinking about it. The way she played Friday in one of the biggest moments, because she hadn't had a good tournament.
She hasn't.
But she showed up. And that's the thing, like, it could be anybody's night for South Carolina because we so deep. And
does she play stiff? Does she look stiff?
I'm loving it.
Does she look stiff? Like when she plays?
Who?
She did, like, you know, like, yeah. She seems a bit stiff. Like, she can move.
Yeah.
But it's a very, like, Angel Reese. It's like, she moves better than Angel Reese.
She has way more skill.
She has a lot more skill. No, I'm not saying she has more skill. She's quicker, faster.
Yeah.
But she still has
not polished.
It's not polished.
It's not polished is probably what you're trying to say. So I think it's not as polished, but I think she's going to continue to get there. But I think, like, for her, she can play multiple positions. She's hard to guard, and she's just going to continue to get better. Like, this is a big moment today, and these are where legacies are made. Yeah. And, we're going to see, if Malaysia going to show up today, too, because she didn't have a good showing the other night. But other people stepped up. Yeah. For Malaysia, she's consistently inconsistent. And people get mad about her playing time. People say she could transfer, all this, that, and the third. But it's like, Dawn is trying to make her into a WNBA player. Yep. And some of the shot selection, some of the miscues on defense or even offensively, just not understanding time and score. And, just that basketball IQ piece has to continue to grow. She's only a sophomore. People's processes are different. Yeah, it takes time. But she's going to get there. There's no doubt she's a great talent, But I think she just has to kind of grow in her mindset and her leadership and things of that nature. But she'll get there because, she's continuing to get better. Like, I still see improvement this year from last year. And then, Raven Johnson has been solid. I would love to see her finish a little bit more, but she's been solid regardless. She made some big plays down the stretch. Breezy has played better. Pow made some big buckets.
Chloe was she was in foul trouble.
She was in foul trouble early, but Chloe has been the most consistent for us this year.
Most consistent, yeah.
She did mess up my parlay on Friday. She didn't get 15. That's okay though. But again, other people stepped up, so I'm good with it. As long as we get the dub. Now,
next week, today is going to be tough.
When you think about UConn has looked unstoppable.
They have. They've been blowing everybody up.
Paige Beckers, and I said this a couple weeks ago when March Madness started, that I hope that this would be the reintroduction to Paige because she's been real quiet during the regular season, and people kind of been hush on her now. No matter what, she's still going to be the number one pick, best player in the draft.
Yeah, for sure.
But the show she has put on and the leadership that she has shown throughout this tournament has been nothing short of phenomenal. And a lot of people are talking about, does she need a championship to define her greatness or her legacy? No, she's great, but to be a UConn great,
she needs that championship.
Like, you're great, but to be a UConn great is something totally different. And to solidify your UConn legacy, I personally think she has to win a championship.
You heard it here first.
That's it. Because think about it: Maya Moore, Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Swin Cash, Brianna Stewart, Nafisi Collier, you name them. They've all got it. They've all got a chip. Yeah. So if you don't get one, there's a little asterisk right there in my book.
And this is probably one of the deeper UConn teams that I've seen in recent years. In recent years,
because they're healthy.
They're healthy, yeah.
They haven't been this healthy in a long time, and so I think that's another reason why they're playing so well, so connected, so inspired. Because it's like, this is the team that we've envisioned having. And then with Sarah Strong, oh my gosh, that kid's phenomenal.
She's a freshman.
That's the kid that's gonna be one. Like, between her and Joyce Edwards, it's gonna be a battle back and forth. On who's the best. Like, kind of how we look at Juju and Paige.
Yeah.
Or, Paige and Caitlin and Juju and all them. Like, it's going to be the same thing as they come up because they're in the same class.
And they're both, like, I guess, big women.
Yeah.
They're like
they play big. Yeah, but they can't play multiple positions.
Yeah.
Both of them can play on a perimeter. You know what I mean? Sarah has a better shot than Joyce. But they still bring huge value to their teams. And they can play
Joyce moves
both sides of the ball. Yeah, they can play both sides of the ball. But Sarah is, just like her last name, strong. She's tough in the paint. She can finish.
Didn't her mom play? She's a legacy, I guess you could say. Right?
Yeah. So she played in the WNBA. She works with the Boston Celtics right now.
Yeah.
But her and Don Staley actually played together with the Steam.
I remember her saying that. I remember her saying she was trying to get Sarah like on the team.
Yeah. Don wanted Sarah. We all wanted Sarah. Sarah chose UConn. That's where she always wanted to go, and she's had a phenomenal freshman year.
Yeah.
But if we want to win today,
you're gonna play all 4 quarters.
Yeah, and we can't get off to those slow starts. We got to be able to contain Paige.
Mm-hmm.
We got to hope that 8 Azzy Flood is a little off, and you got to do what we can with Sarah Strong too. But even that point guard. Chan, whatever her name is.
Chin, yeah, I was thinking of Chin,
from UConn. She's been
hooping. Yeah, she's been hooping.
So you got some good matchups, but it's gonna come down to for South Carolina, can Malaysia show up? Can we get some good minutes from whatever third big we decide to play?
Yeah.
And can Chloe and Sanaya stay out of foul trouble?
Yeah.
That's gonna be huge too. And what kind of job is Breezy Hall gonna do against Paige? So. There's a lot there. There's a lot there. But a good Geno's and Don Staley matchup.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
So then we also on Monday, we can talk about Saturday games. Mm-hmm. Florida and Auburn?
Florida versus Auburn and Duke versus Houston.
Yep. So I think I had Florida winning. I think I had Duke winning.
I got Florida winning it all. That's what I had from the jump. That kid, Walter.
Oh my God.
Walter Clayton Jr. Mm-hmm. That's a bad man.
And I've been having a conversation with like one of my homeboys. He was just like he's a huge Duke fan. He was just like, man, you can win with freshmen. You can win with freshmen. I'm like, bro, you can. But a lot of these teams now are even what you can see with Houston. A lot of these teams are constructed with 4 5-year seniors and also transfers. I said you need experience just as much as you need 5-star talent.
And with that, like they have no McDonald's All-Americans on their team. They didn't have anybody ranked in the top 25 on their team for Houston.
Oh, Houston?
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that.
But even with Florida, they're built off transfers and different stuff like that. I don't know their lineup as well as Houston as far as when it comes to ranked players and McDonald's All-Americans. But what Florida and what Houston have done is what you said. Like they got older guys, grown men that have been around. The Walter kid came from Iona. He was on that Iona team that made that run a couple years ago.
I remember that, yeah.
And now he's just helping his draft stock. Like he is a hooper.
He's a hooper.
Like he's a gamer too. Like
agree.
Get the ball in my hands. I'm about to go get y'all the bucket. I'm gonna take y'all to the promised land. And so it's gonna be interesting seeing him and the rest of his squad go up against that Houston defense that's just very physical, just tough, gritty. And Houston does a great job of just wearing you down. Defensively and then offensively, just the way that they play, trying to get paint touches and easy kickouts for threes, and they crash the glass so freaking hard. Like they were getting so many offensive rebounds to start in that Duke game. But I do think that was a great team constructed by Duke. Yeah. And they had some older guys on there too, some transfers. But I feel like in situations like that, you gotta be a little lucky. And Houston was a little lucky.
They were a little lucky, yeah.
With that over the back call they called on Cooper Flag on the free throw line.
I can't lie though. It's been a couple. That whole game though, I felt like the referees were kind of letting them boys play. But there was a lot of fouls early in that game. I was like, Duke could have got a foul called on them. Right. They were letting them play. I think towards the end, I think they kind of started to call it like a little bit more even, like when it got tighter. But you know what's crazy? We left blinders thinking that like, oh, this game's over with. It was like 5 minutes left. We get to Vinyl.
They were down 14.
That's what I'm saying. We were like, bro, it's over with. They're not coming back. We get to Vinyl, sitting in there talking, chatting it up. Look up, it's like a minute left, and it's like a 6-point game. I'm like, bro, there's no way these boys come back.
Or 7-point game, yeah.
No, it was 6. When I looked, it was 6.
6 point, yeah. I mean, it's March Madness. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with Houston, the way that they play, like they were not giving up. They blitz.
They did.
Ball screens. they're denying, like they're up on you. They're aggressive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they started picking up full. Them boys was turning that ball over.
Yeah.
And they got some things that just go their way,
yeah.
you know. And the way that they shoot the three, you got all your perimeter players are shooting over 40% from three.
Yeah.
You can be in any game if you're doing that. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
at first they just weren't hitting shots. Like they did not play well in the first half, and they were still down 6 at halftime.
Yeah.
So for them, they had belief, and that's the thing. You gotta believe.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said earlier, I mentioned this. You don't lose unless you quit, and they never quit.
They never quit.
They had a refuse to lose mentality.
Yep.
And you know they were able to come out on top. And I'm so excited for Calvin Sampson because he's never been to the national championship game before.
Yeah. Is he black?
He's got some final, but this is his first time in a championship game, and that's pretty cool.
It's gonna be cool. I will say, man, Cooper Flag is the one. I think he's gonna be the face.
Oh yeah, number one draft pick. He cold.
He's cold.
He missed that shot at the end though, and you knew the
close.
ball was gonna go to it. I think this is another thing Duke messed up on too. They stopped getting the ball to Knipple.
I want to say Con is the guy, bro.
That's that dude. He is
Con
a
is
cold
the guy. Yeah.
boy right there. I love his game. He gives me Austin Reeves. You know, but he don't get downhill as well just yet. But he plays. He has great footwork in the paint though. You know, because he can get to some of those decels.
It didn't make sense why they went away from Con.
Some body contact. I understand that when they stopped going to him, that's when that deficit got smaller and smaller because he was getting buckets.
He was, and that's the biggest thing, you know, with having those kind of guys like a Cooper Flag. You want to get him the ball, but you also have other guys around him because he was doing it very well facilitating the offense. Mm-hmm. I don't know what changed in that second half where they wanted. It was like go get you a bucket, but it was just like, bro, you play within the flow of the offense in the first half. Why would you deviate from that in the second half?
Right. They were running stuff to get Con the ball, and I just felt like they went away from that, like you said. They started just running stuff for Cooper. But I think you got to just kind of go with who has the hot hand. Yeah. But I mean, Cooper was scoring too. But I'm just like, in those moments right there, like find ways to run Con on some screens or get him on some driving kick actions. And there were moments where he was open, calling for the ball, and they just looked him off. Like, I remember one time, I think it was like a minute and something left, Tyrese Proctor was at the top of the key. Could have won to Con in the corner. He was wide open, butt ass naked over there.
Yeah.
Didn't throw it to him. He get down, he'll get fouled, and then he missed the free throws. Missed the free throw, I think it was at 1-1.
It's going to be easy. It's interesting. I don't want to turn this to a Duke conversation, but I do have a question really quick before we go into like the transfer portal with Olivia Miles. Jesus, which actually is a good conversation. But with like Isaiah Wright, the guy didn't play at all. I don't think he played at all.
Isaiah Evans,
I'm sorry. Isaiah Evans. He didn't play at all yesterday.
He looks sick over there.
He looks sick. Do you think he comes back next year?
I think, I was thinking about this last night, and I don't know, because for me, if I'm him, I'm like, all right, there's no Cooper Flag. Don't know what Con's going to do. He's going to come back at 9.
You got the Boozer twins coming in.
You got the Boozer twins coming in, which they're cold, but there's an opportunity for him. But I could see him very well going into Porter, going somewhere else, because he didn't play these last like 3 games in the tournament.
And there's no reason why you have that kind of a talent on the bench.
I mean, there's different things. Like, we're not at their practices, like, people say that, but, like, we're not at their practices. We don't know. Like, he's been pretty efficient for the most part when he comes in, but there could be a thing of, like, they want more things out of him. Maybe he's not, communicating or understanding, the defensive concepts, because they're very hard. But to me, he does lock up. He's long, athletic, too. You know what I'm saying? He gets in the passing lanes. He's has great effort, but maybe they want different things from him, know? And you got to kind of pick, too, what you got. Yeah. You got some stronger, more physical guys in there. They might go with them.
Number 14 was physical. I don't know his name, but he's
right. So they need different things. They look at Isaiah more maybe as a scorer. Like, we got that. We need you to do other things, other intangibles. So, I mean, if he goes anywhere else, obviously, he'll be a huge prospect in the portal and, can get to a great school and, maybe have a good outcome. But I think it's to be determined. I'm very interested to see what he does, if he stays or if he goes. But I think there's nothing like, being a part of one of those blue bloods, and that is Duke, But I think it's interesting that Duke has not won a championship with some of the people that has come into their program in the last 5 to 10 years.
It's very interesting. I literally.
The last one was like 2017. No.
It's 2017, 2018.
Yeah. So they didn't win with Jason Tatum, Zion. I think obviously Cooper Flag now.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet about that earlier. So yeah, we'll see. The portal's been hot though. UNC picked up some people out of the portal, The kid that left them canoe went to Michigan.
Yeah.
So there's been some different things that have happened. I mean,
it was 2015.
Last time they won a championship. So 10 years from.
With Nolan, is that the dude name? Black dude?
Yeah, with the nose.
Yeah. And they didn't have. I don't think they had a lot of freshmen on their team.
Yeah. So it's been a minute for Duke.
Yeah, but man, I'm glad you kind of hopped into that transfer portal conversation because you know, my front runner for the whole season was Notre Dame.
Right. On the women's side.
Huh?
I was clarifying for people on the women's side.
On the women's side, yeah, we're back to the women's side. They didn't win, and now Olivia Miles is entering the transfer portal to go somewhere else. Yeah. So I'm gonna ask because
instead of entering the draft, she's gonna be the number 2 pick possibly.
Yeah, but we know why she's not entering that draft. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, or it does?
It doesn't.
That she does not enter the draft.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, it does.
I'm gonna say why it doesn't make sense. She's gonna make more money. She'll make more money and she'll still be a top 3 pick in the draft next year.
Oh, I thought you were saying it doesn't make sense as to why she didn't.
Oh no, it makes sense. That's why she didn't.
Oh, okay, because I'm agreeing. Like it makes sense that she didn't.
It makes sense. I'm glad that she came back, but this is also going to push the W. You got to pay the girls.
Right. Well, that's part of it, though. I mean, in 2026, there's going to be a new rookie contract that's going to be able to provide more money for them on their initial contract. So I think that played a part in it. I think she just didn't go out the way she wanted to this past year. They underachieved.
With them? I was about to say, what happened with them?
You know, they actually did I forgot what the series is called, but they did a series where they followed Hannah Hidalgo, Kiki Irfan, however you say it, from Southern Cal, and I'm blanking on the third player. So we'll get to see kind of an inside look on Notre Dame.
What was going on?
Yeah, because I think it was a lot of they didn't like Hannah. It's what it sounds like, because there's been some different things kind of come out. Like Olivia Miles has reposted some stuff or like posted some stuff on her social medias that kind of allude to some mistreatment there or not having good teammates and that kind of thing. So I think, you know, because a lot of people were saying Hannah, they were saying no Hannah, that people didn't like Hannah.
Wow. And
they kind of just let, you know, Hannah do whatever she wants. They thought Hannah was homophobic and just all these different things. And Hannah never really cleared the air on that when that stuff came out. And you know, you're playing a sport where there's, you know, different preferences there, and you got to be able to be on a team where you feel like it's a safe space and everybody can get along no matter the differences, you know, and figure it out. But I think just down the stretch, they really struggle with that. Okay. And, you know, we'll probably never know all the true ins and outs. Yeah. But for Olivia to make that decision, I'm very interested to see where she's going to go, because in her recruiting process, UConn was one of her top teams. Really? Yeah. But UConn and Notre Dame is like huge rivalry. So if you go from Notre Dame and you go to UConn, man, Notre Dame people are going to hate you. Yeah. Yeah. But I can see it.
Where else could you see her go? I wouldn't see her going to like a LSU. I think that kind
of. Nah, that doesn't fit her, I don't think. But I've seen people bring up TCU.
I was going to say, I think she would thrive at TCU. The way that Haley Van lifted.
Yeah, TCU. I could also see maybe, you know, South Carolina, depending on if Raven Johnson comes back or not. Yeah. There could be some other schools in the mix. You know, I don't know that anybody said this, but it could be interesting. I wish like Juju was healthy, because I feel like Southern Cal would have been in the mix. But now Southern Cal, they've had some kids transfer too. Really? Yeah, because they like Juju gonna be gone for a year. Like,
is she gonna be gone for a year?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way she's coming back. If she came back, it'd be a rush timetable just because of when her injury happened. Usually, you know, if you come back within 9 months, you're at 2 times higher risk to injure it again. So you need to really take, get 10 to 12 months.
What Paige did.
Yeah, just take the whole year off. Yeah.
But I to kind of like follow up on like the next thing we put on our docket was as far as just like will elite players follow suit. You've seen a lot of players do that. Like as far as this, Paige could have left last year. I think was she hurt last year or last year? Was she? She played. She played,
but she was hurt kind of at the beginning of the year. She came later. I mean,
even with Adriel Reed, she came back for her last year as well.
Yeah, and Flage just announced that she was coming back. She wasn't going to go in the draft. Yeah. I think it goes back to what the contract change is going to be in 2026 with the CBA and them figuring all that stuff out. And just the amount of money that they're making with NIL. And you have people on teams, when you talk about Flage, you talk about Olivia Miles, you have people on teams where they felt like they were right there. Yeah. You know, and they have some good pieces coming in. They have, people returning, and, there's opportunity there to get that national championship and to, again, like I say, make more money. Like, the money in the portal is insane right now. And there's some big-time players on the women's side in the portal. There's Cody from Ohio State.
Yeah.
A lot of people are talking about she may be going to Ole Miss. I can see that just kind of with her attitude and like her demeanor, just kind of how she is. She is not always looked at as like the best teammate and best attitude, but I feel like Coach Yo could probably tame that a little bit. You got Tanaya Latson, who's one of the top scorers in college women's basketball. She doesn't get talked about enough because she goes to Florida State.
Yeah.
But she's still open to going back to Florida State, but she's also looking at other options.
Yeah,
so she's keeping everything. Yeah, so I'm hoping South Carolina is one of those. Her and Raven actually played together in AAU and played against each other in high school. So
that might be a nice little plug-in right there.
Right. So there's some people, and I forgot the kid name from Vanderbilt, but there's some big names in there.
Yeah, and there's a lot of money to be made in that transfer portal too. And that kind of goes into like our next topic real quick, because I know we're getting towards the end, but I know you put this on here, so I really want us to kind of like dive into that. But kids entering the transfer portal, playing while coaches are entering while still coaching, like what do you think there's a double standard there? I think there is.
I think so, yeah. I think there's a double standard there because coaches get so upset that these kids are jumping in the portal, but at the same time, you are in a job that everybody famously says, like, you're in the job of hiring and firing, right? And so you're also in conversations to get other jobs or get other positions and things of that nature. So
there are coaches that literally they'll win in the tournament. Yeah. And the next day they're going to their the team they just beat head coach. Yeah.
Right. And so it's like the same thing with McNeese, the guy, going to NC State. He's like, I'm taking some of y'all with me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But it's the same thing. So I think we got to stop getting mad at these kids when y'all doing the same thing as coaches going to get your bag too. Mm-hmm. And I get that it's a difficult situation to navigate, and they got to figure out some better parameters around it because I do feel like it's going to hurt college basketball. Like us not having the upsets that we typically have this year in the March Madness makes it like not as exciting as it once was. You know what I mean? Like used to be like when we gather on the TV, have multiple TVs of all these different things. And I think people still did that, but it still just feels different because there's a lack of excitement because you don't have some of these kids staying at those mid-majors. You got them going to the bigger schools because they're like, hey, we can offer you, 200, 300K or even more, if you come here with us. Yeah. And so I was listening to Carmelo Anthony talk about
I was gonna bring that up
on his podcast how he feels like there should be some contract deals. If y'all want to be so much more, where it's kind of like linear to what's going on in the NBA, and y'all treat them like free agents, well, let's put them on contracts. And hey, you got to do a 2-year deal with me.
2-year deal with a mid,
2-year deal with me, and then you can go on and do whatever you want.
2-year scholarship. Guaranteed scholarship.
Make them sign something other than just their initial NLI. But to where, hey, we'll give you X amount of dollars for 2 years. You stay with us, then you can transfer up. Yeah. Or he also mentioned having a tournament strictly for mid majors like they do in football. With the bowl games and stuff like that. I think that could be cool.
That would make sense.
But I wonder how
they technically was doing that with the NIT tournament for a while.
Yeah, but that's not as exciting. I think people watch it, but I would love to see the viewership numbers of that compared to March Madness. But I do feel like if you do something like that, how would you really construct March Madness? Does it lose its
luster?
Its luster, yeah.
I think it's gonna be interesting because with the March Madness construct, you have 64 teams.
Yeah. Because now they added those playing games, so really it's 68.
68 teams. And that goes on forever, but also once you lose, you're it's done, right? There's nothing that you necessarily, with bowl games in college football, they have a whole week where they're literally in Boca Raton or in Charlotte, they're doing different events, they're meeting different people, they're meeting different people within the ACC or whatever conferences they are, they're meeting with kids, they're going to do different things where for basketball it's very much strict, you're going to play this game, keep winning, you're in. But there is that struggle because now it's crazy when you see a McNeese who a couple years back would have been that Cinderella team potentially, but the Cinderella team this year was a St. John's or that was coached by Rick Pitino
but they actually had a good season.
They had a great season,
yeah. But they weren't
or an Arkansas who is coached by Coach Cal. Yeah, you know what I mean? These are major Power 4 teams that are being considered Cinderella teams where we're missing the Ionas and we're missing the McNeeses.
Lehigh.
Yeah, the Lehighs. Yeah. So I think it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure how they would construct it because I'm not like really a basketball guy.
Yeah.
Like if you ask me about college football all day, I could tell you what I think, but I do think there needs to be something in place because right now, high school kids and like I know I might be hopping off of the topic, but high school kids and like JUCOs and like those D2, those D3 NAIA schools are going to suffer because it'll be a kid that goes under the radar. Even for like those mid-like major schools, a kid that goes under the radar, like a John Morant. If John Morant came out now, he would have transferred from like Murray State. He would have went to a bigger school.
Probably, yeah.
Just because of like
the money and
yeah.
the opportunity. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, it's just difficult. I don't know how you would really construct that. I have to really think about that. I don't know. I'm not the person to really that. But it's also like, Carmelo mentioned maybe they're playing for a certain amount of money because like you said, like in those bowl games, they're getting money for winning those games, right? So if you have that same construct with, March Madness or those mid-majors, maybe they win 2-3 mil or, whatever it is to go back to their schools or to, kind of distribute amongst the players or something like that. So they're playing for something and they don't feel like they're just, all right, we got here, now we're out and we're done, and there wasn't much coverage on us in the first place. You know what I'm saying? But I think at the same time, like this is something that's been built for years. I think they got to figure out a way to make it better. I feel like they just need to put more parameters around the NIL stuff, but instead of just opening it up.
Wild West right now.
Yeah, they just open it up.
Wild West.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So I'll be interested to see what happens.
Real quick, shout out to Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, and also some WNBA legends.
Sue Bird, Maya Moore, the GOAT.
Yep.
And Sylvia Fowles.
For being a part of the class of 2025 Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. That's the last thing I got.
Yeah, man. It was funny. One of my friends just posted yesterday, 10 years ago yesterday, I was in Tampa at the Final Four. The Final Four is in Tampa right now.
I did see that, yeah.
But 10 years ago, yesterday, I took a picture with Sue Bird, and we all did.
That's crazy.
It was pretty dope. So shout out to her. Now she's in the Hall of Fame.
That's when she had the micros.
Yeah, I used to love the micro braids, but what a time. I was like, the glow up is real.
Oh my goodness.
That between that fit and the hair. So, but Tampa was a time, man. I had some of my coaching friends text me like, where you at, man? Wish you was down here. I'm like, y'all know I don't coach no more. I do not coach college, but Tampa's always a time. So hopefully y'all out there being safe and enjoying it. South Carolina, UConn today, 3 o'clock. Who you got before we get out of here?
Man, I'm going with the hometown.
That's all I need to hear. USC. Go Cox!
It's hard to beat a good team twice.
Bingo. And I feel like they should be very embarrassed about getting blown out at home in front of a sold-out crowd. They got to have a chip on their shoulder. And the narrative has been all about UConn and Page and all of them just being back in this game. And not enough talk about South Carolina because there's not one sole superstar. Well, we'll see what happens today.
Yep. I'm
looking forward to it. I'm going to be a little stressed, a little anxious, but in Don we trust.
We got to see.
And after that, shit, we out of here.
We out of here.
Hey
man, look at everything. DSPs. We're on every DSP as far as just Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Follow our TikTok, our Instagram, and
that's that.
That's that.
Plug!